Hey everybody, how's everybody doing this evening? We'll give folks a couple more minutes to join as usual. Good to see some familiar faces out there. Colorado Adventure Club, Peter, Robert, how are you guys doing? Email me a picture of the lightsaber. Hey Jack. Hey Renee, welcome back. Hey Skyrider, welcome back. Welcome to the stream, Banshee boys. We'll give it one more minute for everybody to join and then we'll get started. Be sure to hit that like button. That helps me out. Appreciate it. All right, welcome everybody. Let's move over to the slicer here. How's everybody's weekend going so far? Where's everybody coming from? I'm from Colorado. They're with the Colorado Adventure Club. Sorry I couldn't make it last weekend. I was in Chicago. And then let me get this loaded here. So I thought this evening we have some viewer picks have been sent in. Um, I'm gonna do another print while we're doing that, and then we'll look at some photos from that, and then I got some pretty cool pictures from my trip to Chicago that I'll show. And if anybody has any questions along the way or anything like that, feel free to ask them. But let me load this in here, and I sent the link to these files is in the description of the print here. But these are little planters that I thought would be cool to print. And what we're going to do with these is print by object again. And I'll show that you don't always have to do like a multicolor print. It's not always the best way to just let it do the multicolor stuff. So sometimes it's better to do print by object than it is to do that. So the first thing that we'll do here is get these the right color here. So all I'm going to do is select the object, and then for this one I want it to be this red. So I'll just select the number 2 to make it red. See where everybody's coming from. Tennessee, Jack, welcome back again. SoCal, go SVG, Northwest Florida. Welcome, welcome everybody. And then same thing on this one. I want to make this one that yellow color, so I'm going to just press 7. So one thing that we can see here, well, I know these are going to be too big to print for print by object because I checked that out earlier today. So we actually need to scale these down to 65. So let's do that real quick, and it's just this button right up here. Alright, so with them this size right here, let's slice the plate. And I'll show you why print by object is the way to go. South Carolina, welcome from South Carolina, Banshee boys. Alright, so as we can see here, if we were to print it this way, what it's going to do is print one layer of the green here, then it's going to flush it out. It's going to print one layer of the yellow here, then it's going to flush it out. And then it's going to print one layer of the red over here and flush it out. So you can see that it's using actually more flushing material than it's actually using in the model itself. So sometimes when you're doing objects like this, it's better to print by object. And I've showed this a couple of times, but I think it's worth showing even more times because it's that useful and that handy. So keep that 56 grams of flushing in mind there, and you'll see the flushing tower right there. If you just go to others right here, and in special mode, print sequence by object, now what it's going to do is it's just going to print this green object, then it's going to print the yellow, then it's going to print the red, or whatever order it's going to be in. And if you move these two close to each other, they do need to be spread apart. You'll see that it brings out these boundaries, so it does need to be spread apart enough to be able to print without the tool head hitting the object after it's printed. So one thing that I like to do is just hit this auto align right there, and that'll put it in the best position. Any questions on that? Has anybody tried this yet or has done this? I've done a couple of these prints on the live stream this way. I did the castle print that way. Super handy. So now when we slice it, remember we had 56 grams of flushing and like 50 grams of model material, 51 grams, whatever it was. So now it's 28 grams of model and 0.39 grams flushed. So you can see how much material that did, and it saved a ton of time as well. Yeah, the parts come out so much better as well. That's a really good point, Colorado Adventure Club. So we'll go ahead and see, we'll almost be able to print this thing in the time of the live stream here. So go ahead and print the plate. We'll do the flow calibration and time lapse because I'm using all of the Bambu stuff. I haven't calibrated this is PLA Tough, this green one. Haven't calibrated that one yet, so we'll use the flow calibration on this one. And we'll go ahead and hit send. And Jack has done the print by object several times. Yeah, I think even, having the AMS or whatever, you might think of multicolor prints in one print, but sometimes this is a really good way to do it. It limits the height too much. Yeah, there are some limitations with it, and you can't print too many things at once, different things like that. Ooh, I forgot to change. I have the cool plate in there. We're going to need to stop that. So we'll cancel that. That'll give me an error. If not, I remembered the last thing I was printing was on the high temp plate, and I switched it over to the cool plate for this. There we go. Auto layout is your friend for sure, for sure. Auto layout is your friend for most everything, right, Peter? I use the auto layout all the doggone time. That's my favorite little button, is that one there. All right, so while that's loading up, I'll pull up some user prints here real quick. All right, and these are from D. Simoleon. I don't know if he's with us this evening on here, but he's pretty active in the comments of most of my videos and on a lot of these live streams. But he sent in some more really cool prints. Is there a way to see how many hours you have on the machine? I don't know if there is or not. I would assume it would count how many hours or whatever on there. Let me walk up to it and see if I see anything right away. Let's see, device info. Yeah, so if you hit the little gear on the left hand side on the front panel and go to general, I think my microphone just cut out. So if you go to the little gear icon right below the on the left hand side, the little gear, and then hit general and then click on device info, it shows how many hours it's been active on the very top. Colorado Adventure Club. Peter, I did not get the free LED array from Bambu. I did take advantage of some of the birthday deals and got some refills. This came out really cool. Let's look at the next one. It's pretty cool as well. They sent you an email and to order through the store. Yeah, I haven't seen. When did they send that email, Peter? I haven't seen any emails or anything. And I've been looking on there to try to see, try to see if you can just order it or whatever. I'll order it too, finish my video or whatever. But I haven't even seen it to order. Yeah, this turned out cool. D. Smoley, and if you're out there, if you're watching this later, it's pretty cool prints. Thank you for sending them over. Got the email, and of course, instant back order, of course. They only send out deals in batches and only to people signed up to their newsletter. About June 25th. Wow. Yeah, I don't. I need to check my email junk folder. Maybe it went in there. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not getting one. Freaking jerks. Alright, some more Rick and Morty. That one's pretty funny. Thank you everybody for hitting that like button. Appreciate it. And some Wu-Tang Clan. Did everybody see that Wu-Tang show on Hulu or whatever? If you haven't seen that one, there's a good show about Wu-Tang Clan on Hulu. If you haven't seen that, if you need a show to binge watch, that's a pretty good one. And this is a pretty cool print too. Nothing like the Wu-Tang stuff. When I first moved here to Colorado, my neighbor had a Wu-Tang sticker on his car, and I knew I was in the right place. It's pretty cool. One of my really good friends is a big Wu-Tang Clan fan. He has some cool tattoos and everything. That looks really cool too. D. Smoley, and if you're out there, these are some cool prints, dude. Again, you sent in some other ones that were really cool. This week's pretty good as well. You're definitely very busy on your printer. I have not printed that much because I've been out of town for a good while. And then had to catch up on some videos these past couple of days. But there's some good ones coming. Yeah, this thing looks really cool. Yeah, I wish D. Simoleon was on here to tell us how long these took to print. It's pretty big. Pretty good quality for the most part. Printing paused with the error. Uh-oh, let's see what the error is. Spaghettification. Nice. Nothing like getting the spaghetti on live stream. Let's go ahead and cancel that. Alright, let's try that again. Let's see if we can do that without the spaghetti. Anybody that tells you this printer is perfect is full of it. Clean the bed. Good catch, Bambu. Gotta love that. That is true. That is true. I wasn't really paying attention to it, and it did what it was supposed to do. Yeah, if it fails again, Colorado Adventure Club, I'll clean the bed. That's pretty funny that it failed. But it is pretty cool that it sent me a notification on my watch to tell me that something was wrong, so that was pretty cool. I generally don't leave the house when it's printing, though. I try to stay at home for that reason, if I would have been away. Although it did pause. And then Robert, X1 Carbon will be delivered on Tuesday. Nice. Daniel took my advice, printed TPU. Yeah, I was super surprised. After I calibrated and printed some stuff that didn't have giant overhangs or whatever, it printed really good. And then Banshee Boy's X1 camera looks so much better than the P1P. That's interesting. The camera in here is garbage. That might be one mod that I try to do in the future. I wonder how hard it would be. Like anybody that's done FPV drones, those use a similar kind of camera um, to that one. I was looking at it. It's not that much different, but one with a wider field of view, maybe a little bit better exposure. That would be pretty cool on the camera. I don't have a P1P, so I don't know what the camera looks like, and it looks even better if I switch over to the live feed of it, if it'll ever load. It doesn't want to load. Have you checked out the Bambu Studio beta? Some great flow dynamics and flow rate calibration built in. No, I haven't, Chris. And that's really why I use Orca Slicer, is because it has those calibration things in there. For example, on this print, we're printing with 3 different filaments, but it's only going to do the flow calibration on, it looks like it's going to print the yellow thing first. So it's only going to do the flow calibration on that filament. It's not going to do the flow calibration on the other 2 filaments. And that's where I think Orca Slicer is better, but I haven't seen Bambu Studio beta with that. I'll have to check it out. The Y I printed for the X1C and installed doesn't work very well. I cannot get it to consistently work with color changes. Are you talking about the Y in the back where it comes in so you can use an external spool, or what Y are you talking about there, Daniel? Bambu just essentially copy pasted everything from Sauce Fever, Orca Slicer, Codebase. Well, Paul, okay, but what did it? All of that get copied from the Prusa slicer or whatever? I mean, is it everything kind of copied and pasted off of that? That is kind of funny, though. The other thing that I like about this, and this will come into play later, is if you click on this little gear for the printers here for Orca Slicer, there's a whole bunch more printers, or at least the last time I looked. I need to go, Chris, thanks for bringing that up. I need to go update the Bambu Studio and see if anything's new. That's a good video idea as well. But there's more printers available in here. Say, for example, if you had, one of these Crealities or, these FL Suns or something like that. There's more of these printers. There's more than just the Bambu and Bambu Studio. The last time I looked, it's not just the Bambu stuff in there. There's other stuff like this in there as well. But this one has a lot more in there. And it includes more printers. Yeah, so they probably did the Paul's thing is Paul copying and pasting. Yeah, I would agree with you, Paul, on that. It's not really the spirit of open source. Yeah, see, I wondered the same thing, Chris, about taking apart the camera module and installing like a FPV camera or something in there, right? Or just a different camera, like or a naked GoPro or something, you could reroute some of the battery and stuff to the outside of it or out of the way or whatever and put a much better camera in there. So I've wondered the same thing. And then Pantone Diago, welcome to the stream. I'm thinking getting X1C, but I'm kind of worried about the warped bed and even more worried about the VFAs. Are those issues significant in your experience? So the warped bed, I still haven't checked mine to see if it has a warped bed, but it does do bed leveling and does pretty good at bed leveling, and I haven't experienced anything that shows that. So I'm guessing if it is warped at all, the bed leveling is fixing that. I haven't experienced anything with that, and then the VFAs or any kind of smell or anything. I generally keep the lid and the door closed on it unless it recommends to vent it. I have it in a room that's vented, and it does have that carbon fiber filter. And if you see my maintenance videos, I do change that every 3 months. So if that's a concern for you, if you're going to print a lot of ABS or PC or any of these really high heat, stinky materials, then that might be a problem, but it hasn't been an issue in my experience. Diago. And then Eduardo, did you see that Bambu Lab has trademarked 3 new names for what appear to be 3 new printers? No. No one knows yet what the... Yeah, I've been wondering if they're going to come out with a new printer this year, right? Like right after I got my X1C, they launched the P1P, which was, I think, right at the, Christmas time. December, so we're 6 months away from there. So I've been wondering if they're gonna put out a new printer. I'll probably buy it right away. Yeah, lots of new features, fixes, also firmware beta tester, and some great fixes, features coming with that too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. Yes, for the external Bowden wide tube splitter by Robert on printables. What material did you print that out of, Daniel? I'm wondering, you need a really hard material that's probably smooth in there. Otherwise, there's going to be little ridges that the filament can get stuck on. Is that what is happening to it? What material did you print it with? Eduardo, you checked your bed and it's perfect. Yeah, I need to do that. I have a straight edge too. I keep forgetting to do that. They've taken the multiple take object X out of print function from Clipper and added it to Studio. Yeah, I need to check what they've done on there. ABS still gets stinky with the X1C, but a Nevermore should help. Yeah, always do this stuff in a well ventilated room as well. My whole maker space is well ventilated, and with the laser engraver, definitely got to ventilate that thing, or your whole house will smell like a campfire. And then COPA stinks too. Yeah. Yeah, some of them still stink. I don't sit in the room while it's printing. It's in a vented room on its own or whatever. And again, it does have the filter and all that stuff in there, but yeah, it doesn't like stink up my whole house or whatever. PLA with the super fine layer height. Yeah, I was wondering more about the vertical fine artifacts like the pattern and outer perimeter. I've seen some people complaining about that. I'm really OCD about the outer wall artifacts. So I ran in Orca Slicer. There's this VFA test that you can run as well on there, and I did that, and I didn't have any kind of artifacting or anything on there when I did that. But the last time I checked on here, there was no documentation for that either. But there is some calibration that you can do with that, Diago. And then Chris, I haven't seen too many issues with the outer wall issues, but I have had issues with small gaps on bottom or top layers. Yeah, and then there's not a lot of documentation on here, but there is documentation online about doing this vertical fine affinity test or whatever here. And I think there's some things that you can go into here, and you can change and calibrate that out if it's a big deal, Diago. Seems like the ridges caused from the extruder gears causes it to catch. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't printed one of those Y things, but I would recommend, if you haven't tried this, try printing it out of PC or ABS. Try with a harder, smoother material. The PC, if you have some of that for sure is a lot harder and a lot smoother, and it might be better for you, Daniel. Try that or ABS. The other thing you could do is put a Dremel in there. Just kidding. Smooth it out with a Dremel. All right, and then I think Colorado Adventure. Let's check on this. Make sure we're not spaghettifying again. No. think Colorado Adventure Club sent a print here. So let's check that out. All right, and the lightsaber does look pretty doggone cool. What did you print the lightsaber out of? Just like white filament, or was it like some PETG clear or something like that? PETG is pretty slippery. That's true as well. PETG is probably good as well. I heard upping the speed helps get rid of the VFAs. I just remember seeing people complaining about the belt ridges get transferred to the walls, but that was a couple of months ago. Oh, you didn't print this part? Yeah, Diago, I haven't noticed too much of that, but I don't have like prints that are super duper, need to be absolutely perfect. But there's a lot of that you can tune out as well. Chris, where can I send my prints? Lynn Dizzle Prints with a Z at gmail.com. Here, I'll put it in the chat. If you email me these, I can pull them up on stream and show everybody. That's interesting, Colorado Adventure Club. I have some of that clear PC if you want to try that. I did a video for next week on that, so I'm done with it for now. If you want to try to use that clear PC to print that, it might turn out pretty cool. Super cool print. Let's check back in on this, and it's still going with that yellow one pretty good. And as you can see, it's going to be done in about 57 minutes, so saves a ton of time and does pretty good there. I've tried PLA PETG with transparent, does not work, but it's not as smooth or just fused to the way that I like. I can tell you I printed with that clear PC, that stuff is smooth, and that's why I'm saying that fitting may be best with PC, because that stuff is really, really hard and really, really smooth. And generally, the harder something is, the smoother it is too. Do you have any other questions on the printer itself, Diago? I've had it about 6 months now, and it's not perfect. It has its flaws, and you do have to tinker with it a little bit. But I've been very, very pleased with it otherwise. It would be cool to try that in clear PETG. And then what are you using to control this? Just what is it, a ESP32 or whatever those little controllers are? Is that what you're using to control the lights in here? That's what I need to get good at, is something to control the LED lights. Have to figure out a way to make that easy. Yep, ESP32. Alright, we got about 15 minutes left. Let me pull up these other images. I got to see something pretty cool in Chicago. Does your dog have RGB? Yes. That's pretty funny. All right, so here's me flying into Chicago, and right down here is, I think, where the racetrack was for the first NASCAR street race. That's what I was doing in Chicago. So I got to go to that, which was pretty cool. Even though most of the weekend got rained out, they still had the race, and that was pretty cool. Mostly just curious about quality, the VFAs, the outer appearance of walls in general. I don't know how I feel about the matte texture, very texture based on speed. Most of my prints are small, high detail. Yeah, they have the 0.2 millimeter nozzle that you can use for really small, high detail stuff on there. Um, yeah, I don't know, other than building a 3D printer yourself and really, dialing stuff in, I don't know if you're going to get one that prints better. The only issue I had, Eduardo says, the only issue I had with my Bambu lab has been with the AMS. The filament may not retract the filament completely in some instances, and I need to manually pull the filament out. Yeah, I've had some issues with the AMS. Eduardo, does I get where a little piece will break off like inside of the tubes or whatever, and I gotta take it apart and pull that out, and then I have to do that as well. And then back to my Chicago trip, probably the highlight of this trip, and I put in the description, is I actually got to meet a legend. And I got to spend about 45 minutes talking with Jeff Gordon, probably the most famous NASCAR driver. And that was super cool. Really, really cool guy, very, very relatable. Uh, yeah, that was pretty cool to spend last Saturday night, instead of streaming at about the time that I would be doing this. Last Saturday, I was talking to Jeff Gordon, so that was pretty cool. And then let me see if these videos will play. So I believe that was the last lap of the race as well, from the start finish line. That was where I was at, my perspective, and that was pretty cool as well. And I actually, for my real job, I do a lot with Hendrick Motorsports, if anybody knows who they are. In my real life, that's what I do some of the time. But that was a really cool experience. It was really cool to meet a living legend. And there's the RGB on Colorado Adventure Club's dog. Yeah, SVG. How crazy is that? The first time you ever race in NASCAR and you take the checker flag. That's pretty cool. I got to see it from the start finish line too. I watched every lap from up there. It was pretty cool. Most of it got rained out, like the whole event, all the concerts, everything got rained out. I thought the race was going to get rained out, but it didn't. I'm 99% sure I'll get the Bambu Lab printer. I just don't know which one it'll be. I saw they have gotten some trademarks for other names, so I don't know if I'll wait for a new printer. Yeah, you might want to. If you don't need the enclosure, then the P1P is an easy choice to get, honestly. If you're going to just do PLA and PETG, you don't really need the enclosure and those high temperatures. You're probably good with the P1P. Yeah, Colorado Adventure Club. I'm not sure who's having that many VFAs, but it's my second printer I bought in the Ender 5S1 and returned it. Talk about VFAs, the Bambu out of the blocks blew my mind. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I guess I work for a company that makes like some insane 3D print stuff that is like super duper high quality, but it's like a $500,000 printer. So, you get what you pay for. For the price range that you're in, I don't know of one that's gonna be better quality. Maybe one of those rat rigs or the Vorons if you put it together and spend a whole bunch of time meticulously making sure everything's square, straight, and all of that, and oiled and all of that, and really, really dial that thing in. I think you would be that'd probably be the best way to go. But for straight up out of the box and almost plug and play, yeah, I don't know. And really, what I see the difference between the P1P and the X1C, the X1C does have all of the bells and whistles with the camera and the go live and all of that stuff. And then you can print all the different materials through it because it has the enclosure and everything like that. The P1P doesn't have all the bells and whistles and it doesn't have the enclosure out of the box. So if that helps you make your decision, Diego, that's what I consider to be the important differences between them. But yeah, I would imagine they'd be coming out with some sort of new printer this year. And they came out with the P1P around the Christmas time frame. And when did they come out with the X1? Was it summer of last year that they started the Kickstarter and all of that? So has it been out just like a year, a little over a year now? I think Robert, if you're still out there in the audience, I think you've had it one of the longest out of anybody, and maybe Peter as well. 1 year exactly, yeah. So I would imagine they'll be coming out with something, right? Pretty soon, if they're going to stay on a 6 month, every 6 month type of deal, right? Because it was December that the P1P, December or January that the P1P came out, which is about 6 months away from being a year old as well. Oh yeah, they just had the 1 year anniversary with the birthday and the sale and all of that. That's right. coming up on the end of the hour. Any other questions or comments or anything like that? Hopefully this stream was good for everybody. Don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't hit it already. Peter bought some of the PLA CF filament. Which color did you get? They have some cool colors of that now. I have the red, blue, and black of it. They are giving gratuity discounts to those that purchased a Bambu lab printer prior to June 26th of this year or last year. I didn't buy mine before June of last year, but I know they had a lot of cool bundles for people that bought the Kickstarter one or whatever. I think I got the second production batch was where mine was. I just missed, when I ordered mine, I had just missed the first production batch after Kickstarter. All I got on my order was like a 25% discount on the filament that I just ordered. And it was just a bunch of refills of stuff, black and white and stuff like that. Stuff that I print a lot of. The blue gray, obviously, this one right here, that's my favorite one. Speculation has it the new printers will be enclosed P1P and smaller and larger workspace X1C. See, I would like to have, honestly, if the P1P was larger, I would buy it immediately. If like the P1P had a larger surface or you know could print larger things, because there are some things that I'd like to print that are bigger. I would do it. I don't know that I need the enclosure for that. I don't foresee doing like PC or ABS and the big stuff, but if I could do PLA or PETG in a larger thing in a P1P, that thing would have gotten it done. I just got my X1 carbon cobble about a month ago and got an email to purchase 2 spools of PLA for $1.99. Yeah, I didn't get no email for that. Jerks. Red and green PLA $1.99 a spool. Yeah, I didn't get any of those $1.99 spool emails from them. Oh yeah, for all Kickstarter backers. Yeah, I didn't do Kickstarter. But it does seem like, I'll just make this funny comment, it does seem like that PLACF is in stock all the time, so maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe they can't sell it. Just kidding. Email support and they'll give you the discount code. Huh, I'm going to try that. And then Greg, welcome to the stream, Greg. I don't think we've seen you on here before. I finally ordered one last week. Should be here Tuesday. Do you happen to know why they only offer some colors as refills? Black ABS, for example. Yeah, some stuff you have to buy with the spool, and some stuff you can do just as the refill. Mainly like the PLA basic and mats and tough and all of that. you have the refills for, but even like some of the newer PLAs, like the metal and the silk and the marble, I think you can only buy with the spool. But yeah, it's the the ones that sell a whole lot are generally the ones that you'll see that have the refill on there, Greg. Yeah, for all customers who ordered at least one of our printers after Kickstarter through our official store, 2 rolls of carbon fiber for 199 or whatever. Yeah, I didn't get that. I need to check my junk folder, I guess, in Gmail and see if it's in there or something, but I didn't get any of that. You're welcome, Greg. Did you get the AMS with it as well, Greg? To do multicolor stuff? Nice. First printer you've been excited about in years. That's funny. Yeah, what did you have before? I had a Creality before, a 10S Pro V2 or some nonsense. And I think I got about 3 good prints out of that thing, and after that it was a piece of garbage, and it super frustrated me. The discount code only works with the account that has the same email. Yeah, I don't understand why I didn't get the email, or if it's in a spam folder or something like that. Gonna have to dig into that a little bit. Or hit up support and ask them why I ain't getting those deals after I bought 20, 30 rolls of filament from these people. They should give me a discount. I'll dig into that and report back to everybody next Saturday on what happened with all of that. Greg says I've had 7 or 8 back to the replicator 1. Currently have an Ender 3 and an old replicator 2X that's just a workhorse for ABS along with a couple of resin printers. Wow, you have a lot of them. Same, mine was an Ender 5 Plus trying to sell for cheap. That's funny, Skywriter. Yeah, I'm not even trying to. I wouldn't even feel right to sell my Creality to somebody or to even give it. I was going to give it to my dad, and I was like, no, this isn't a good experience, man. You don't want this piece of crap. That's so funny. Trying to sell for cheap. That's going to be the title of my next video. Trying to sell my Ender for cheap. Jack just got the bundle. Nice. Send us a picture of what you print with it. We're up on the top of the hour. One piece successfully printed. Now it's pooping, and it'll go to the next color. But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here after an hour. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate all the likes. Appreciate everybody commenting on the video and everything. Appreciate it. Uh, watch tomorrow's video if you're not subscribed. Subscribe. All that fun stuff. Appreciate it. Some people like to tinker, yeah, but if you have to tinker every 5 seconds, it's not so fun. Thanks for the comments, Greg. Thanks, Colorado Venture Club. Thanks, everybody. Peter, Robert, everybody. Chris, thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. See you next weekend. Bye, everybody.